And today's reading, I'll be reading Milk and Honey Devotional by Cambria Joy. Matthew, a taste of belonging. Behold, a voice from heaven said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." Matthew 3:17. Even if it's been a while since you've heard his voice, God has never stopped speaking to you. Have you ever found it hard to hear him through all the noise constantly pouring in? For years, I searched for his ensuring voice in everything from my own performances, the mirror, other people's opinions, and even relationships. Because of that off-track pursuit, I went in circles trying to reach a goalpost that seemed to move as soon as I got close. It had been so long since I heard the voice of truth that when I finally did, it was difficult to believe him because the lies were deeply rooted within my soul. Everything else I gave ears to call me by a different name. My performance called me unproving, the mirror called me not good enough, other people called me unworthy, and certain relationships called me by name only to leave me. I was confused. I didn't even know who Cambria was anymore. It was at this lowest point in my life when I heard God's voice break through the darkness that surrounded me and the chains that bound me. I recognized the voice of my Father because he called me daughter. God set me free and began a process of redemption, healing, and being nourished by truth, something I could never have imagined was possible. This is exactly what the Spirit does. He brings freedom by the power of the Spirit. We realize everything we're looking for is found in him. We find rest in him because our worth becomes unhitched from our performance, appearance, and the opinions of others or even ourselves. We can rest inside a worth no longer dependent upon anything outside of God. This worth is inherent value tied not to what we do, but to who we are to God. Look at what the Father says even before Jesus did anything that caused people to think, hey, he must be the Son of God. "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." The Father is pleased with this Son simply because he's his. We only try to prove our worth if we look for it outside of him. Jesus faced a challenge to this belief when immediately after the Father calls him beloved Son, the Spirit drives him into the wilderness to be tempted. And the tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread." There is no question in the devil's mind that Jesus was the Son of God. He wasn't using "if" here as if he didn't know who he was dealing with. He was only trying to get Jesus to prove his identity by doing rather than being. Jesus didn't fight back with proof, but fell back into truth. He knew who he was because he knew whose he was. And may the same be true for us. There is an enemy of our souls who wants nothing more than to deceive us too. The devil went on from challenging Jesus on who he was to how much truth he knew to whether he believed in the truth or not. This part of Jesus' life is our example of how to overcome our adversity. We too can trust who we are by knowing whose we are and what he says, and then live by every word that comes from his mouth, believing it to be true. We are daily in a fight to rest in who we are to God. In order to do that, we need to know his word and believe it as much as truth. Only then will we be able to resist the lies and stand firm. If we build an identity based on works or our self-perceived worth, we'll soon find ourselves looking through a cracked mirror. But if we set the mirror down and see ourselves through the eyes of the Father who sent his Son to bring us into the family of God, we'll realize our thirst for worth ends at the cost. If you listen closely, you realize you never once stopped calling out your name.